I'm Dave Murray, a developer on the Jazz process team. I'm going to demonstrate the new way that timelines and iterations are created for a project. We're going to be working in the editor to manage a project area in the web on the Timelines tab. In the past, iterations could only be created one at a time. The start and end dates had to be entered manually for each one. What day is 4 weeks from now again? Now, clicking to create iterations brings up a dialog where I can create several at once. I'm going to add a second release and its child iterations. First, I'll create an iteration called sprint and change the quantity to 2 so that there are 2 sprints. I can break down a sprint further, say into 2 development weeks and 1 test week. Notice that in the preview, these iterations were added to both sprints. Finally, I'll create an iteration after sprint called a release candidate and say that there are 2 of them. By default, a number is appended to the end of each name, starting at 1. If I wanted the numbers to begin with 0 instead, I could click the Edit Properties button for the row and click to customize the naming convention. Here I can add or remove text or counter terms. In this case, I only want to change the counter to begin at 0. I can also specify an iteration type for the row. In this case, release candidates will be endgame iterations. Next, I'll configure the dates of the iterations. There's a column called duration, where the length of the iterations is specified in weeks. I'll say that development and test weeks are each 1 week long, and release candidates are 2 weeks long. You can see that the preview is updated to show the dates. There are controls along the top to modify how dates are computed. I can specify a start date for the first iteration, and I can specify which days are scheduled days, which will be used to select start and end dates for each iteration. For example, I might check all the days if I wanted iterations to begin on Sunday and end on Saturday. When I'm satisfied with what's shown in the preview, I click OK, and the new iterations are displayed in the tree. When I'm ready, I can click Save to create the iterations. This dialog is also used when creating a new timeline. The only difference is that the name and duration of the timeline itself are editable. Child iterations can be created exactly as before.